Hello and welcome. I'm the Restless Kaiser, and I'm over here.
And I'm Woolly Mike, and I'm right here. But together we are
Modelling for Advantage. Right in. Not brand new, but nearly. The US Rangers kit from Bolt Action Warlord.
Yeah, so it is new, but it's old kit. So when you got the old ones, 2 sprues, one for the infantry, one for the weapons, and they came with some metal heads for the Saving Private Ryan.
And that's the Rangers, which if you bought a box that said US Rangers from Warlord until about a month ago, you would have got it's army models with a few metal bits.
Yeah.
Including the faces from the, what's the movie? Saving
Private Ryan, yeah. So very, very good metal models. So I actually got one of these. I like the Warlord mystery boxes, so I got one of the £200 ones.
Yourself a bit of Warlord warehouse clearance, didn't you, Mike?
So
you got a big one this time.
I did, yeah.
And you've written it up. It's going to be on the website at some point when we figure out how to do that.
I like them. Only 2 things out of the box I didn't use. I donated them to Bears Army's charity at UK.
Nice.
So,
if you've got models that you're not using that you're happy to give to kids on kidney dialysis, get in touch with Bears Army. They need that stuff.
Okay, so as I say, I've had the old Rangers.
Yes.
We've played them a couple of times. That they featured on the board.
Yeah.
And I got a sprue of these as a pre-release in the mystery box.
So you've built some. So when we come to talk about the sprue, which we're about to do, you've got some experience. So this is the latest thing. I'm really pleased that they've done this for 2 reasons. As they built more and more of the plastics, they're looking again at some plastic kits they've already got that maybe they could be better. It's like they already had arguably plastic Rangers, but they were actually plastic army figures with a few metal bits. Like, make another one. And what I can tell you about these is you can use these as alternate pose army figures.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to use quite all of the extra bits of kits like the backpacks and the goggles and things, but they're basically in the army uniform. And that's going to provide you with a lot more pose varieties. Like a first, step 1, why would you want this kit? So you've already got US Army, this is just 6 different bodies or whatever to look at.
There are extra bits on although they're not solely Rangers, there is kit in here that you can put into your standard US Army.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the fact that the body is kind of interchangeable in terms of it's the same uniform. So, how many of these do we get? We get 5 sprues, I can count.
Yeah. 30 figures.
30 figures. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the character heads.
Yep.
Yeah. And then some others. So some of these have got like a scrim on them. And 2 different types. One's quite a tight mesh up here, and then that more kind of netting bag.
That's right, yeah. So you've got the loose net, the tight net, and I think there's a canvas cover.
Right, like the Marines used.
Yeah, although I think we previously discussed that some people used them in D-Day and then didn't like being shot because they thought
because the normal canvas cover ones have a camouflage pattern on, and the only people that anybody knew was using camouflage uniforms in World War II were Nazis. So it was a bad idea to be in a camo uniform.
Yeah, so 6 poses, 5 standing, 1 kneeling.
Nobody on his belly. And when you've only got 6 poses, I don't like the guy on his belly. It's not like I don't have use for him in my army. I just don't need 1 in 6 guys on his belly. Is definitely true. Yeah. Okay. Weapons and equipment then. We've got... they're in the newer style. So you've got a couple of pieces where both arms are holding the weapon. They're great for just quickly... Like, they really speed up the build time. And then the others, they're either single arms, like there's a guy here with a Thompson in this kind of pose, or there's guys where there's a specific right arm to... The right arm's got the weapon, a specific left arm will hold it in the right kind of pose, like this BAR on here, right? Yeah, and then we've also got a couple of carbines and the BAR. And a sniper rifle.
Yeah, because...
is that one of the characters from...
Private Daniel Jackson.
Right. Is he in Stargate Atlantis? No, original Stargate. Daniel Jackson.
I don't know. I don't watch Stargate. But from the movie, the character that plays the sniper is one of the feature heads. So
Right,
yes.
so you can make that character.
Yeah.
And in fact, it is on the crib sheet for building those characters. This is how we envisage building them for your 6 poses. Right, so that's good. That's following that new style. What we're also seeing here is there's a lot more kit than you'd find on the army figures in general. Because these are like special type commando forces.
They're almost assault troops. They're not quite full commandos, but they're assault troops. So you've got the standard backpacks, some with shovels, but you also get folding pickaxes.
Oh yeah, the folding entrenching tools.
Yeah, but these are specifically pickaxes.
Oh right, okay. Oh yeah, they're a lot bigger.
Over to the right of the sprue, you've got axes.
Yep.
And they're very, very tiny, but you've even got combat torches.
Oh, those kind of
the L-shaped
looking ones.
Normally with the red lenses. So you can build these as rangers, and then you can also incorporate them as your assault or your engineers.
Army engineers,
your standard engineers. You come with your bazooka arm.
But previously, if you wanted to build a bazooka with an American kit, there was a weapon sprue, there was 2 separate arms, whereas this has got the 2 arms that are designed to fit. Now, what I would say about bazooka in terms of the history of it, if you look up, even Wikipedia is going to tell you this, there were several types of bazooka. The movies always have the really big ones.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the troops generally want the smaller, the lighter, because they're carrying it around all the time. They almost never use this equipment. When they need it, they wish they had the big one, but when they're carrying it around all day,
so I think there's a 40 mil, a 60 mil, and the standard one you see is like an 80 mil.
Yeah.
So you get the bazooka, and you've got the guy carrying the sack of extra rounds.
Is this the gun cleaning kit or something?
That's the bazooka spares.
It's the bazooka spares.
Yeah. So you can build your loader, and then the other one with this, because they're engineers, you've got,
and because it's for Normandy, right?
Yeah.
These are Bangalore
torpedoes.
Yeah.
And satchel charges next to it.
Oh, this guy's carrying a satchel charge as well. Yeah. So these, again, I think Warlord said this, these also your army engineers.
Yes.
They're going to make the same kit. So if you already know, you already know. But if you don't know the Bangalore torpedo, the way the Bangalore torpedo works is it's for demolition in a difficult environment, or for getting rid of things like barbed wire and stuff where you need to get underneath it. So it's a series of almost like an old chimney sweep.
Well, they're drain pipes.
Right.
Yeah.
But they screw together and push along, screw the next bit on, push along, so you could pass it under like a barbed wire or something like that, and blow something up at a reasonable distance. You can't be 100 yards away, but you can be 20, 30 yards away.
Yeah, so they'll blow up, and if you put it under several rows of barbed wire, it would cut maybe a 10 or 15 foot swathe through, which is often enough to get through the first line of...
Because the explosive's in the tube.
Yes.
In the lead tube. So it's got quite a footprint of charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think... because they will also use them a bit to clear blockage later as well.
That's right.
They can push it through the undergrowth, get it in. So it's quite a useful bit of kit.
Yes, make a hole. And obviously the satchel charge for
generic demolitions, fixed positions, or even anti-tank purposes. It will do the job. Yeah, nice.
So I've got a Rangers force with part of my American, so we can build a standard squad of Rangers. So we've got the 30 men, so you can do your 2 10-man squads, 5-man squad, and with the Rangers you come with some special options. So
yes, because they're this like light infantry type force.
Yeah. So you can have your assault squad. You've got your standard infantry squad, then you've got your assault engineers, which come with the anti-tank mines, hand grenades, the demolition charges, and so on. If you're in a scenario for that, but it does allow you a special weapons squad. You can take, in a standard Rangers force, you can take 2 special weapons squads.
Oh, out of the basic sort of 6 platoons in the... okay.
Which allows you to take 5 men plus extras and 2 bazookas in one squad.
And they're baked into the squad?
They're in a squad of 5 or 6 men with 2 bazookas.
Or 12, right?
Yeah.
Presumably. Presumably, as Americans, they've probably got big
Also,
squads.
the army list then allows you to take your individual pair of bazookas as normal. So you can have 2 squads with 2 bazookas in and 2 standard squads with a bazooka each.
Right. If you want to play that like these 20 guys are holding up an armoured column, this is the force that's going to allow you.
If you're defending a bridge at the end of a film.
Yeah, indeed. Defending a bridge at the end of a film, perhaps. This might be the force that's going to allow you to do that. And I mean, you got enough in here. 1 in 6 guys can be firing a bazooka.
That's right.
So
with the load, and as we said, you get the BAR. A normal squad allows you to take your infantry squad and 1 BAR.
Still, just finishing off on the sprue itself, and before we sort of move on to some of the modelling and so forth, and your experiences of building them. A couple more things about interesting. You mentioned the kit on their newer stuff. They've done a good job of not giving you like 6 identical backpacks. There's very subtle and slight differences, but it's going to mix up that. They've not got a uniform fresh from the desert. They've not got a kind of uniform kit identically creased in every way and so forth.
Yeah.
They're just slightly different shapes. They're obviously the same thing. Yeah?
Yeah, so the 6 backpacks with shovels on, a couple of them have got, looks like a machete or a knife on the side of it, some other equipment, and the same with the non-shovel backpacks.
Yeah, they're just little bits of different, but across your force is going to be no 2 figures who aren't carrying an identical. You get 12 backpacks before you're reusing one on 6 different body types.
And then when you add in the folding pickaxe, the side knife.
And the water bottles are separate as well.
Yes.
Canteens at the top.
And you can even put wire, I've just noticed wire cutters as well. So
yeah, loads of little bits.
So many different options, and as I said before, some of the heads match the Saving Private Ryan guys.
Yeah.
But you've still got 2, 4, 6, 11 heads, 12 heads. There's the guy with the goggles.
The guy with the goggles. There's always a guy with the goggles. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's only one guy with goggles out of the whole lot.
Yeah.
I thought there would be more. Yeah, there's only one guy with goggles. That's a tiny bit disappointing. Yeah. Because the goggles feels to me like a Ranger thing. And, you see a movie. Well, how do you know there's a Ranger unit? Because the guy's got goggles on his helmet, never wearing them. Yeah. Because they're in movies, on his helmet.
But yeah, so again, there's a left arm with a medical bag, so you can make the medic.
Yeah.
A hand with a grenade just leaving his.
Yeah, so you can make that pose. And I think there was a shotty on here somewhere, wasn't there? Although I can't find it right now.
I thought there was, but that's on the airborne.
That's on the airborne sprue that we were looking at. All right, okay. A lot of this really good. We'll talk about the build. There are a couple of things that are not here that we might have expected, which are perhaps they're not hugely disappointing, but they're a little bit disappointing. And there's definitely one thing on here which is odd, which is there's a right arm holding a helmet. I like a guy holding a helmet. But there's no helmetless head.
Yeah.
So he's holding someone else's helmet. Now, there's no reason you can't use the heads from some of the airborne in America, some of the other heads that are out there. If you're a bolt action player, you've probably got a variety of unhelmeted heads you could use. But it is a bit of a strange thing to find someone carrying a helmet in a sprue for which there isn't an unhelmeted head. Now, the other thing is when we talk about the squad composition, I remember that because they're Rangers, they have different options. And one of those options is a weapons team where you can take LMGs in the squad.
Well, the standard team, your standard infantry unit, you get the choice of taking one guy with a BAR or one guy with a 30 cal.
Right.
And a loader.
Right.
The issue is about the one's 5 points, the other's 20 points.
Yeah.
One extra shot for 5 points or 2 extra shots for 20 points.
Yeah.
It's an interesting bit we've discussed. Yeah. So you can make both of those options.
But there's no 30 cal here.
No.
And importantly, across the range of American figures, we just had a bit of a look. There isn't a 30 cal on the weapon sprue, which I think still comes with the Marines, which is from that older style. There's no 30 cal on there. And I think this is because most of the US squads can't have LMGs in squads. Their 30 cals are all 3-man MMG teams, even if they're mounted on a bipod. The only place we could find a plastic LMG was in the airborne.
In the airborne, they can have the 2-man team.
Now the arm, we had a look, and we'll get some pictures up for you, hopefully, to show you. The tunic isn't too bad. The arm's not going to look totally wrong. It's not got radically different cuffs or like a huge pocket or something like that on it. The arm is okay. The problem is the pose of the arm. It's for a prone figure, and it's coming out at right angles from the body.
So the guy's laying down, his left arm's like that, and he's holding the gun straight ahead. And I was looking at this to build, because I've got a box of the Rangers as well, to improve it. But I was looking at this arm and the 30 cal, and I thought, no, what I'll do is I'll use the prone body from the Airborne.
Yeah.
The problem is he's got the massive, great big flyers pockets.
Because the Airborne figure is on this belly. We double checked the Army kit does not have a prone guy. No. You can get 30 cal US Army figures. They're metal. So they're always the thing if you have a plastic armor with a few metal bits in. For me, it's the storage issues. The metal ones can easily damage the plastic ones, depending on how you store. And they just tend to look, they have a slightly different look about them, the metal figures, compared to the plastic ones. I'm not saying, you know, you may feel differently about it.
Well, the way I've done it is that I've got, so for the US Army, I've got 30 cals that are 3 men mounted on a team base. And
that's how the Army uses them.
When I've used the Rangers, I've got the 3-man relocating team. So one's carrying the gun, one's carrying the tripod, and the other's carrying the ammunition. So I'll drop the tripod guy, and then those two go into the force.
They go into the squad,
But as you say, they are of a different ilk. They always stand out.
Yeah. At any distance, they're just going to look like the rest of your figures. It just would have been nice to have particularly a carried 30 cal. I think one that's trying, because this is for a 30 cal in a squad, and it needs to be doing what the rest of the squads do, which is usually my problem with guys on their belly. Is I've got 8 guys running and 2 guys lying down in the same team. They're all lying down. That makes sense to me. A combination of lying and kneeling, but some guys running and some guys not. But on here, like they wear these Bangalore top, if there was just an arm here carrying, carrying over the shoulder, the 30 cal, and it's a small oversight, but they don't make these sprues often. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait, but looking at that Airborne one as the likeliest candidate for conversion, because the hand is on the weapon, moulded into the piece, I don't think you can put a different hand. You can't just cut the hand off.
No.
Or cut it off at the wrist and mould it, or pin it to another model.
Too much of the forearm is part of the rear of the weapon.
Yeah, exactly. So a better modeler than me might be able to kit bash it, but it's not an easy problem.
I have built one where it's a kneeling guy, and I found an arm that fits just about. But the idea is it looks like he's resting the barrel on the ground.
Which you're definitely not supposed to do. That's really bad for a gun.
But it's a heavy weapon.
If you're going to stop, actually going to do it.
But he'd be resting it barrel up. So I've modelled one like that to see if it works, and I'm thinking of doing the same with the Rangers. But
there might be there is one kneeling pose here. You might be able to use those 2 para arms if you have the gun propped, like propped on a box or something. You might be able to, that's about having a bit of time to kit bash. So we're not slating the kit because it's not intended to be part of this kit. I mean, inevitably there's some things you're going to have to get in metal in these kind of ranges at the moment. But it was one of the kind of things that you'd notice, wasn't it? It was like, I'm going to have to find another way
so
to do this.
There's not a Ranger starter box army yet.
No.
So if you were going to build a full, I normally field them, like I say, in the games we've played, they've either been the Rangers as a recon because they get a special starting move.
Oh right, yeah.
In deployment, they get a Rangers lead the way move, so they always get a pre-move, or you use them as the engineers, and you can take the different balance of BARs and other weapons. So to build a force out of this, you will be looking at the metal.
You're going to need
infantry.
Your mortar. And your bolt action armies inevitably have to include some metal because the mortars and so forth. Well, a lot of that's going Psyocast now, though, isn't it?
And the special weapons teams as well. They're just
the flamethrowers, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because there's not a flamethrower here either. That'll be metal, I guess. Because that would have been an engineer thing as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember if the D-Day Rangers army list doesn't include a flamethrower, as far as I remember.
No.
And it's very little in the way of...
Well, they brought the Bangalore torpedoes for that job, I guess.
Yes.
They knew they had a fortification to deal with, but the solution wasn't flamethrowers, it was Bangalore torpedoes and a load of bazookas.
Yeah, so you could build your army out of these to start with, and then obviously you'll have your one squad of Saving Private Ryan. But if you're going to go with the Rangers army, you are going to be looking at sourcing the other equipment, especially if you're going to go with the LMG option in squads. These were far better.
Better in the game, anyway.
Yeah.
In the game, the BAR is one of the things that makes the Americans good.
And the infantry squads take 2 of them. And so, having built the original Rangers with the arms and that, they were a nightmare.
The old kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These were really great, straightforward. And the options are there. Adding all the extra bits on to make them, so the 2 guys in the same initial pose look completely different by adding different backpacks, all the other add-ons, and I really liked it. So I got the free sprue or the gift sprue, and I've got another box of these to be building.
Right, and you're gonna make yourself a Ranger squad.
Yeah,
and then you just got to build a Point de Hoc out of styrofoam or something.
Yeah,
to play them on. Yeah, all right, and look, my thoughts on this, like we've been seeing with all of their newer kits, they're moving away from the 2 separate arms and a separate weapon. They give you modelling flexibility, but they cause it. This is a kit for wargamers, not for model makers. They're very good. It's very confident. You'll see on pictures we've been showing you is their new style of displaying their sprues. They've not photographed them. They don't have the sprue gates in. I was like, "Ooh, I've never." That just looks weird. It's like they're hovering in midair.
So you're not working out what's a
where the arm
sprue
begins
gate,
What's is he smoking a fag, or is that a bit of sprue mold line or whatever? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, really good. There's 2 big fixes. The thing about the arms, and they're mixing up the backpacks and the other bits of kit so that they're not identical. These, I think, are the 2 big changes. The heads, usually each one is pretty unique. I mean, they're in an army, they're wearing the same helmet, but they're going to have slightly different faces, slightly different helmet covers.
In the metal ones and in the plastic, when you look at them closely, you can see which one is Captain Miller and the other characters.
Once you've got them painted up. The faces have got that. Yes. All right, that was that. You also get your pudding bases, which are your pudding bases. You also get your lipped bases, which I love, because they just mean your guy doesn't stand on a mound by the time you put your basing material on. And
you get the decals to go on the back of the helmet, so the Ranger flash that goes on the back of the helmet.
Yeah.
And the blue Ranger shoulder patch.
Yeah. And then what's all them other my eyes can these infantry decals are
they are very, very difficult to apply. So you've got various ranking signature, the US flags, the sergeant stripes, the medics and an MP armband. So as I say, you can build the medic out of this. So
and that's a helmet
decals and the
medic.
And the longer one's the armband. And and 2 MPs as well. So
and 2 MPs. How could that be the goggles? Maybe.
Yes.
Because they're often the goggles for motorcycles more than in World War II. Someone's wearing goggles. They're probably a motorcyclist. All right, but great little kit, built together well, really good, and just shows that as the Warlord build more and more plastic infantry kits, they're getting better and better. I especially like, as I said at the beginning, that these are frankly, they are Rangers, but they're also 6 alternate ways to make army figures. And what I'm really hoping we'll see for Warlord, because they've covered so much of the range, is we're going to start seeing German Grenadiers too.
Yeah.
That, because for a lot of people, this kit is US Army 2. It's 6 different bodies to continue to expand, develop, customize the figures you've got. I think that's a really good thing. But with all those engineering options, plastic bazooka and sniper, fantastic, because it's just a couple of metal models you don't need. And you get to kit bash your sniper. Because that's another problem when you've got 2 bazookas or 2 snipers. Like when they're metal models, a metal 2-man team, it's exactly the same 2 guys. anything you can make in a multi-part plastic kit, rather than having to rely on the single monopose metal one. Really good. Sheet was good?
Yeah. The usual description on there tells you, left arm with BAR, right arm for BAR. Yeah.
So if you don't know what anything on here, if you don't recognise something on the sprue, find its position on the sprue, get its number, cross-reference it. He'll tell you what model of helmet or whatever it is.
And there's a paint guide on the back as well for colours.
Starting to see these painting guides on these as well. Really nice. And whoever they got to paint them used the Vallejo Army Painter and Panzer Aces.
Yeah.
So, but it's an opportunity to buy yourself another paint.
But I think this is
brown. You always need more brown. If you're going to paint World War II.
But I think this is the first time I've seen the colours on the outside. So when you're buying the box, what colours do I need? And they're on the outside, not on the inside.
Ah, so you mean like when you're at a show or something or in a shop, you pick these up.
Yeah.
You actually know which colours. While I'm here, can I have one of them and one of them?
That's right. Yeah.
Do you know what? I hadn't considered that because I normally buy online.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. Actually, putting the actual colours you need on the outside of the box is a really good idea for people shopping. Guys, fantastic kit. We're going to use them. You're going to have a whole platoon, new army, a bolt action army.
It extended. You've seen. I've got a rather large US force.
Yes. Yeah. All right then. All in all, it's another banging new kit from Warlord. I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing you with a new platoon on the table.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So if you like bolt action and you're looking to start the system or start a new army, on our website modelingforadvantage.co.uk we have a range of the starter sets as well as a few of the starter armies. Do consider buying from us as a way of supporting the channel. Thank you for watching.